Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Adinda Dyah. I am 12th grade of Oil and Gas Petrochemical Engineering A Migas Vocational High School Cepu. Now, I'm going to presentation about on-the-job training report. Enjoy this video. On the job training report, I will tell you about the job training at PT Pertamina RU7 Kasim, where PT Pertamina RU7 Kasim is located at Raya Kilang Street, number 1, District Segat, Sorong, Papua Barat, 98452. The history of PT Pertamina RU7 Kasim. In line with the increasing domestic demand for fuel, Pertamina seeks to increase the capacity of fuel production from domestic fuel refineries. In line with the above, the Kasim Fuel Refinery was built, which aims to meet the fuel needs for Papua and surrounding areas, which were previously imported from the Balikpapan BBM Refinery in Kalimantan. The construction of the fuel refinery was carried out with the following consideration: spurring the development of Eastern Indonesia, reduce transportation costs, and increase security of supply. At PT Pertamina RU7 Kasim, I learned a lot of processes. There are observing refining of crude oil, observing refining of kerosene, observing refining of solar. Before we entering the job training place, we must use safety equipment. There is wear pack or coverall, helmet safety, mask, and shoe safety. 1. Observing refining of crude oil. Crude oil is a very complex mixture of hydrocarbon compounds, as its main constituent and small amounts of sulfur, nitrogen, metals, and mineral salts. Before being processed and the refinery, the associated materials or materials must be separated first, so as not to interfere with the process and reduce the quality of the resulting product. 1. Crude oil paraffins. Crude oil paraffins is a crude oil whose hydrocarbon composition consists mostly of hydrocarbon compounds with a simple structure, with a chain of carbon atoms arranged in the saturated and open chain. The physical properties of this crude oil include the weight fraction contains a lot of wax, little bitumen content, and low quality of gasoline and quality of kerosene and diesel is good. Crude oil naphthalene is a crude oil whose hydrocarbon composition consists mostly of closed hydrocarbon compounds or cyclists, and there are no double bonds on the carbon atoms. The physical properties of this crude oil include the quality of gasoline ON is higher than paraffin, lower ISP point kerosene quality. The residue is alpastic, suitable for alpas and does not contain wax. 3. Crude oil mix, a mixture of paraffinic crude oil and naphthalene with a ratio of 70% paraffinic and 30% naphthalene. A. Material: crude oil. B. Tool or equipment: tank, heat exchanger, salter, furnace, and fractionation column. Standard operating process. Crude oil stored in tank 5T01, 5T02, and 5T25. Then pump it using a 5 PM 01 pump to the exchanger cell to exchange heat. After that, it adds the heat exchanger cell 1E02 and 1E03 to the heat exchanger tube 1E04. After that, it goes into the 1V01 desalter to remove impurities such as salt. Then, back to the exchanger cell 1E12 stream it again to heat exchanger tube 1E13 and 1E14. Then, go to the furnace 1V01 to do the cooking with a temperature of 305 degrees Celsius. In the furnace, there are three parts, namely the bottom radiant section, the middle part of convection section, and the top of the stacks. Crude oil that can't be processed anymore will come out into steam-torque states. The last to the fractionation column. In the fractionation column, they are separated according to their fraction, namely kerosene, naphtha, UV naphtha, solar, and residue. 2. Observing refining of kerosene. Kerosene or petroleum is a liquid mixture of hydrocarbons whose lighter fraction are refined mainly into jet fuel by adding certain additives without these additives, which alter its chemical properties. Kerosene was and is still used as fuel for oil lamps. Kerosene had its heyday from 1870 until the early 20th century, when it was also referred to as illuminating oil. Following the spread of the electric light bulb, kerosene lamps are no longer commonly used in industrialized countries. However, in rural areas in underdeveloped countries, kerosene lamps are still often the only available source of light. Kerosene is also used as a cleaning agent, as it readily dissolves and dirt from metal surfaces and is a component of the fuel used to propel model aeroplanes with diesel engines and jets. Before winter coach diesel became available early enough and in adequate volumes. Kerosene was often added to diesel as it improves the flow properties of diesel at low temperatures. Today, this method, which was often used for tractor in the agricultural sector, is no longer necessary and can in fact harm modern diesel engines. A. Material: crude oil, kerosene. B. Tool or equipment: tank, column, stripper, reboiler, heat exchanger, filter. Standard operating process: from the column to the kerosene and thus the stripper to separate the kerosene from other products. After stripper 1C03 goes to reboiler 1E31 to retain heat and remove light fraction. Then in the pump using 1 PM 04 fluid to the heat exchanger tube 1E11. When in heat exchanger tube 111 there is crude oil coming from the tank, so it does have exchange. Go to exchanger tube 1E02 to do heat exchange again to the desired temperature. After that, the kerosene is flowed to the fin fan for cooling and finally flowed to tanks 5012, 5014, and 5015. 3. Observing refining of solar. Diesel oil is the yellow-brown petroleum fraction which boils at about 175 until 370 Celsius and which is used as an ingredient fuel diesel engine. Generally, diesel fuel contains sulfur which levels of which is quite high. The use of solar in general is so materials fuel on all types of diesel engines with high speed above 100 or 1000 rpm, which can also be used as fuel in direct combustion in small kitchens where clean burning is especially desired. This diesel oil is also known as gas oil, automotive diesel oil, high-speed diesel, properties of diesel fuel. One of the most important characteristics of diesel fuel is quality ignition, volatility, viscosity, pour point, and mist point. A. Material, crude oil, and solar. B. Tool or equipment. Tank, column, stripper, reboiler, fin fan. Standard operating process. First, from the column to the stripper 1C04, it flows to the reboiler 1E02 cell. Then it is pumped using 1PM05 and flowed to the 1E30 tube, 1E12 tube, and 1E03 tube. Second, after that, enter fin fan 1EA04 to cool down to 380 Celsius. Third, then it flows into tanks 5016, 5017, and 5018. Conclusion. The conclusion is before we entering the job training area, we must to use safety equipment and process in the manufacture of crude oil into fuel through main equipment such as tank, heat exchanger, salter, furnace, stripper, fin fan, fractionation column. Okay, this is my presentation of the job training report at the PT Pertamina RU7 Kalsim. Thank you. I'm sorry if there's something wrong said. Don't forget to like this video. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.